Welcome to the show, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you my game room. I hope you enjoy it. There's a lot to go through, so get comfortable and let's take a look. Right, well, let's get started. Here is my modern setup, which I play the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 on. Keep all my amiibo under there as well. Moving on to the retro setup, here we have the PS2, the PlayStation 1 and a Dreamcast hooked up to the CRT, as well as the Sega Saturn, Sega Mega Drive and the original Xbox. Well, let's move on to some of my Nintendo stuff. Here I have my Mega Yarn Yoshi amiibo, which is super cool. You can use it on the Wii U and 3DS games which are compatible with it. The limited edition Mario Kart 8 bundle, which came with the blue shell, the dreaded fucking blue shell. Yeah, it's a good little set, so it's nice to have that in the collection. Game Boy Advance SP. Now this is a refurbished model. I used to have one which was absolutely battered, so I thought I'd go on eBay, get a nice case for it and do it up, and it looks really nice. Moving on from the Game Boy Advance SP, we have a few plushies here. Pichu, my favourite Pokemon, as well as a Pikmin plushie, and Kirby, my favourite Nintendo character, as well as my favourite Nintendo console, the GameCube, with the Wavebird there and the original controller. Right, let's move on to some of the games I have in my Nintendo collection. Here we have Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, a very different type of Final Fantasy game, but I did enjoy it. F-Zero GX, recently did a top 10 GameCube video, go check this out for my thoughts on this game, absolutely fucking love it. International Superstar Soccer 2, this was the first game I got for the console, it's really good, got a lot of memories with that. Metroid Prime, love me some Metroid, absolutely love this first person take on the series. Pikmin, everybody loves Pikmin, such a great game for the GameCube, I highly recommend you check it out. Piano 3, a bit of a hidden gem on the system, awesome game, mentioned in the top 10 that I did a few weeks ago, check it out. Resident Evil 0, one of the best Resident Evil games in the series that came along with the Resident Evil remake for the Nintendo GameCube, which I have there. Resident Evil 4 was an exclusive for the GameCube when it first came out. Not a huge fan of number 4, but it is a good game. Star Wars Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2, my favourite Star Wars game by far. Super Mario Sunshine, not as good as 64 or Galaxy, but still a great Mario game. Another launch title here, Super Monkey Ball, such a great little series, you should check it out, which you probably already have, it is quite popular. My favourite Zelda game of all time, Wind Waker, so good. Wave Race Blue Storm, nice little water racing game on the system. Right, well, let's move on to the Wii games. Here we have Animal Crossing, Let's Go to the City. Play that with Jack, absolutely loves it. Big Brain Academy, not a lot to say about this game. Part of the brain training series that Nintendo came out with in the DS Wii era. Guilty Gear, love me some Guilty Gear. Bit hard to control this game on the Wii with that controller, but still a great game nonetheless. Mad World, violent as fuck. If you like violent games, you will be at home with Mad World. Resident Evil 4 on the Wii, now that's the best edition in my opinion, with that controller, such a cool way to control a game. Lego Batman, that's one of Jack's, he loves the Lego games. Super Mario Galaxy, one of my favourite Mario games by far, awesome stuff. I still need to get number 2, still haven't got that. Moving on, Link's Crossbow Training, not a lot to say about this title, not really played it, just picked it up because it had Link on the cover. Metroid Prime 3, love me some Metroid, as you know. Pikmin, now Pikmin on the Wii is great, such a cool way, so intuitive with the controls playing that game. Here we have the remake of Resident Evil that originally came out for the GameCube, so it's cool to have that on the Wii, as well as Resident Evil 0, which was also for the GameCube. Really cool to have picked that up for the system. Tamagotchi Party On, not a lot to say about that, that's one of Jack's. Knights Journey of Dreams. Now, I love the Knights games, originally on the Sega Saturn, so I had to pick up that Wii version. Pro Evolution Soccer, Zelda Twilight Princess, one of the best Zelda games. Not my favourite, but it is still a cool one. Now, Zelda Skyward Sword, this is my favourite game on the system, love it. Trauma Center Second Opinion, really cool game released by Atlas. Wario Land, all about Wario. Samba de Amigo. Now this is really cool. This was originally released for the Dreamcast. I love Sega, so I had to pick this up for the Wii. Wii Music, complete total shit. Wii Play, pretty cool for playing with your mates or anything like that. Skylanders, that's one of Jack's. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, again Jack's, and Lego Batman. Moving on to the Wii U games, here we have Zombie U, one of the better launch titles for the system. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. Wii Party U, great game for when you got your mates around or your family, everyone can get involved. Mario Kart 8, now this has to be the best racing game for the system. But this comes up closely second. I love me some Sega, as you know, and Sonic Transformed is really cool. It's such a great game for the Wii U. I advise you get on it. Fuck talking about Just Dance. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. Awesome to get that on the system with the extra content included. Nintendo Land, one of the better launch titles as well for the system. One of Jack's, Lego City Undercover, surprisingly cool game for the Wii U. The Lego Movie video game, pretty cool, one of Jack's. Assassin's Creed 3, I love the AC franchise, and it was cool to be able to have the opportunity to play this, you know, off screen when other people are using the TV. Moving on to the 3DS games, here we have Chibi Robo Ziplash. Pretty cool game. That character hasn't been around since the GameCube, so it was cool to see a release for the 3DS. Dead or Alive, I love the Dead or Alive series, so it's really cool to see that release on the handheld. Kirby, my favourite Nintendo character, had to pick up Triple Deluxe, such a cool platformer. One of Jack's, Lego Shima, loves Lego Shima. Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros, yet to open this and play this, but I did play the one that was on the Game Boy Advance, which is similar, so it's pretty cool, looking forward to actually getting on that. Mario Kart 7, great game on the system to play multiplayer with your friends or family. Pokemon Y, my favourite Pokemon game for the system. I much prefer that to Alpha, Omega, Sap, whatever you want to call it. Professor Layton, yet to play those, but I've heard great things about them, so I'll be getting into that soon. Ridge Racer 3D, you know I love me some Ridge Racer. Saw it on a console, had to pick it up. Super Mario 3D Land, one of the best platformers going. Street Fighter, huge Street Fighter fan, so I had to pick this up for the system. Bit hard to play on the system, but it's cool. Tekken 3D, really cool game if you're into fighters. Zelda, A Link Between Worlds, a sequel to A Link to the Past. Pretty cool game, pretty cool. Advance Wars, Dual Strike, love me some Advance Wars, we need a fucking sequel, it's about time. Art Academy, trying to get better at drawing, ain't going well. Kirby, Mass Attack, love me some Kirby, as you know. Again, Professor Layton, need to get on these. Let me know in the comments if you played those games and tell me what you think of them. Super Mario 64 DS, such a classic, and Zelda Phantom Hourglass, pretty cool game for the original DS. Moving on to just some miscellaneous retro stuff I have here, Super Nintendo games, Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games. Here's the Amiibo. Now a lot of you have been asking to see my Amiibo collection, and here it finally is. So I've got quite a few of the Super Smash Bros. Set. I haven't got all of them, unfortunately. I managed to, as you can see here, Yoshi, Samus, Ryu. Ryu, man, that's such a cool Amiibo. Whoever thought to bring out Ryu needs a high fucking five. That's so cool. Charizard there. Moving on to the other Super Smash Bros. In the set. I need to get some more of those to complete that. Here we have the Splatoon, the Chibi Robo Amiibo, the Anniversary Mario, and Animal Crossing Amiibos. Right, let's move on to some of the PlayStation stuff. This is kind of my Hideo Kojima shrine. As you can see, a lot of Metal Gear Solid related stuff. Here we have some of the Metal Gear Solid 2 figures that came out. So Solidus, Emma, and Solid Snake there. The original Metal Gear Solid soundtrack in the background, as well as the Zone of the Enders HD collection. My PS4 box, and my favourite figure, my Metal Gear Ray model, which is just super cool to have in the collection. Absolutely love the design of Metal Gear Ray. The collector's edition Venom Snake replica arm there, and Vulcan Raven. This is the original series of figures that came when the original game came out, so it's so cool to have kept that and held on to that all these years. So that's some of the collectibles for the PlayStation. Let's get into the games. Alien Isolation, such a great game, scared the absolute shit out of me, but it's so good. Assassin's Creed, as I mentioned, huge fan of the series, so I had to pick these up on the system. Got the latest ones there as well, Syndicate, as well as Unity. I actually like Unity, it's a really good game. I think it's better than Syndicate, to be honest with you. Gravity Rush Remastered, loved it on the Vita, had to pick it up on the PS4. My first Infamous game, yet to play any Infamous game, so that was the first one, and I was impressed. Really cool game. Killzone, standard FPS. The Japanese version of Ground Zeroes. The UK version of Ground Zeroes, because I'm just a stupid MGS fan. The collector's edition that came with number 5, as well as the special edition tin that came with number 5. This is just an item that my friend Rohal gave to me, so I am eternally grateful for that. Mortal Kombat 10, such a cool fighter on the system. Not as good as Mortal Kombat 9, but it is good. This is the fighter you want to get. Street Fighter 5, a lot better than Mortal Kombat. Tearaway Unfolded, bit of a hidden gem on the system. I highly recommend you check those out. The Evil Within, had a lot of hype going into this, kind of disappointed with that one, as well as The Order. A lot of disappointment with The Order. A bit too cinematic for my liking. Tomb Raider, great game. Return to form for the series. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, best way to play these games if you haven't played them before. And Watch Dogs, well, a huge pile of shit. And Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots special edition Blu-ray. On to the PS3 games. Here we've got Assassin's Creed for the PS3. Assassin's Creed 2, as I mentioned, love the AC series, so I've got all the original ones here. Brotherhood, as well as Revelations. Love me Revelations, love me some Revelations, great game. Number 3, doesn't really run that well on the system, but great nonetheless. Beyond Two Souls, this game holds a special place in my heart, love that to death. Deus Ex, this is the original version I got before the Wii U one. Fallout 3, haven't played that much of Fallout 3, but my mates play it all the time, they say it's great. Final Fantasy 14, need to get back on that. Fuck Final Fantasy 13, why is that even there? Heavy Rain, again, just like Beyond, special place in my heart. I love Quantic Dream games. Heavenly Sword, great launch game. L.A. Noire, really cool. From the guys who brought us Grand Theft Auto, really recommend you get on that. Metal Gear Solid 4, best game on the system by far. Love me some Metal Gear Solid. Mirror's Edge, pretty cool first-person parkour game. Portal 2, play this with Jack all the time. He loves it. Red Dead Redemption, I've just started playing this, late to the party, really cool game though. Tekken 6, oh shit, that's one of my mates, I better give that back to him. Uncharted 3, love Uncharted 3, got the collector's edition there, as well as Zone of the Enders, which came with the collector's edition you saw earlier. And here is a limited edition Blaze Blue Continuum Shift. On to the PS2 games. Ace Combat Distant Thunder, huge fan of the Ace Combat series, they really need to bring that back. Devil May Cry, again, huge fan of that franchise. Devil May Cry 2 here as well as the third in the series, Devil May Cry 3. Didn't really think that much of the new DMC, but yeah, not as good as the old ones. Deus Ex, love Deus Ex, classic game. Fantavision, really cool launch title for the PS2. Had that since day one, absolutely love it. Final Fantasy X, my favourite Final Fantasy game by far, absolutely love it. Part 2, I've yet to play it though, so I might get on that soon. Final Fantasy 12, really cool Final Fantasy, recently had a HD remaster announced. Gran Turismo 3, love me Gran Turismo, love a copy of Gran Turismo 3. And Gran Turismo 4 there as well. This is back when Gran Turismo was actually good. Gran Turismo Concept, love that game. It was fun being able to use all of the concept cars around the tracks. The American version of GTA 3, GTA Liberty City Stories, a collection of the PSP games, and San Andreas, my favourite Grand Theft Auto game by far. Jet Ion GP, really cool little racing game, kind of like Wipeout. King of Fighters, love me some King of Fighters. I had to pick up this collector's edition on the PS2. Highly recommend King of Fighters, cool series. Kingdom Hearts, love Kingdom Hearts, been playing through this with Jack. Here we have Kingdom Hearts 2, this is the copy that Adam sent to me, so thanks again Adam. Max Payne, pretty cool game, brought to us by Rockstar. You should definitely check that out if you're into action. This is another game that Adam sent me, so thanks again for that, mate. I had so much fun playing that. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, my favourite MGS game by far. MGS2 Substance, basically MGS2 with a few added extras. Number 3, now man, this will get you. Number 3 is a real tearjerker, really cool game. Subsistence there, including the online elements they added. Oni, pretty cool game, brought to us by Rockstar. Onimusha, we need a new fucking Onimusha, it needs to happen, man. God. Resident Evil Code Veronica X, originally released on the Dreamcast, great Resident Evil game. Ridge Racer 5, one of my favourite Ridge Racer games. Shadow of Memories, a huge hidden gem on the PS2, you need to get on that. Sega Mega Collection, because everyone needs a bit of Sonic in their life. The Bouncer, huge fan of this game, was a launch title, really cool, you need to get on that. And Zone of the Enders, only reason I bought this really was to get the MGS2 demo, but really enjoyed the game afterwards. On to the PS1 collection. Here we have Descent 2. Don't really know that much about this game. These are a few games that I've been sent. Jade Cocoon, my friend Alex let me have this. Thank you so much, Alex, for that. That's a cool game. Again, Formula 1, these are just a few of the games which have been sent to me. Formula 1 2000 there. Pretty cool racing game. I do like Formula 1. Cool to have that. ISS 2, used to play this game growing up. Love some International Superstar Soccer. Don't know what the fuck that's doing there. Neither that. Please don't judge me. Right, let's crap out of the way. Metal Gear Solid. Love this game on the series. This is where my love affair started with the franchise. Special missions, really cool. Ridge Racer. Absolutely love Ridge Racer, as you know. So it's cool to have the original there. Ridge Racer Revolution, the first sequel in the series. Ridge Racer Type 4, the pinnacle of the series if you ask me. Running Wild is this is pretty cool. It's a bit of a hidden gem. I advise you check out Running Wild. Rage Racer, love me some Rage Racer. Resident Evil 2, my favourite in the series. Love me some Resident Evil. Number 3, Nemesis, still scares the shit out of me. Shaolin, pretty cool fighting game that you should totally check out. And Street Fighter EX2 Plus Alpha or something, really cool game. Tekken 2 and Soul Blade, classic fighting games on the system. Here are just a few demos that I've held on to for nostalgia's sakes. And there's the original MGS demo, love it. Moving on to my original Xbox collection, here we have Amped, a really cool, underrated snowboarding game I highly recommend you check out. Blinks, kind of like a time-traveling platformer where you play as a cat, really cool. Bloodwake, pretty under-the-radar racing game for the system, an exclusive for the system, was pretty good. Dead or Alive 3, as I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of Dead or Alive, so it's cool to have that in the collection. Dead or Alive, beach volleyball, don't judge me, I'm not a pervert. Full Spectrum Warrior, really cool action game for the system, tactical, team-based. Jet Set Radio Future, we need a fucking third Jet Set Radio, it needs to happen, man, that's a really cool game, you need to check it out. What Xbox collection would not be complete without Halo? Mech Assault, cool mech game, I'm really into mechs, so really cool to play that on the system. Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance for the Xbox, just picked this up to complete my MGS collection. Metal Slug 3, love this game, used to play Metal Slug growing up, so it's nice to have that on the system. Outrun 2, now I love Outrun, brought to us by AM2 of course, great game. Panzer Dragoon Orta, another great game brought to us by Sega, we really need another Panzer Dragoon, I miss the old Sega. Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2, so many fond memories playing that game. Project Gotham Racing, great racing game on the system, an exclusive for the Xbox, really cool to pick that up. Number 2, Project Gotham Racing 2, love that game. Obviously number 3 came out on the 360, but number 2 is really good. Racing, brought to us by the guys who made Ridge Racer. Sega GT 2002, I used to load my Xbox up with tunes and ride around listening to them whilst playing that. Shenmue 2, a classic for the system. As you know, I'm a huge Shenmue fan, so it's really nice to have Shenmue 2 in the collection. Soul Calibur 2, great fighter. Splinter Cell series, we've got Chaos Theory here, and Pandora Tomorrow, which is the second one. Not as good as MGS, but nonetheless, great stealth games. Rainbow Six, huge fan of Rainbow Six, had to pick that up, as well as Unreal Championship 2, great multiplayer shooter for the system. Now here's just a couple of 360 games. I've got the limited edition Mass Effect here, which comes with a book and various other collectibles, as well as Perfect Dark Zero, because I love Perfect Dark. Not as good as the N64 game, but it was still good, worth a play. Moving on to my small but humble Sega collection, here we have Virtua Fighter, the first game I ever played for the Sega Saturn. Absolutely love it. Number 2, again, such a great fighter, great to have that on the system. Here we have some Mega Drive games. What collection would not be complete without Sonic the Hedgehog? So we've got Sonic there, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Super Hang-On, which is a really cool little racing game. I'm a huge racing game fan, so it's cool to have these in the collection. And who doesn't love wrestling? Yeah, a bit of Hulk Hogan. Moving on to my humble Dreamcast collection, here we have the Japanese version of Shenmue, because you can never have enough Shenmue. Choo Choo Rocket, a really cool multiplayer game for the system. Many hours wasted on that game. Echo the Dolphin, really cool game for the system. The PAL version of Shenmue, as I mentioned, love me some Shenmue, so gotta have that in the collection, as well as the original Sonic Adventure, which was a launch title. Alright, just moving on to a few miscellaneous items, collectibles. Here's Jack's collection of figures and various Lego items. Here's one of the Sega Hard Girls, the Dreamcast version. Absolutely love this figure. Here's just a collection of various books, guides. We've got a few retro gamers in there, Hyrule Historia, the Assassin's Creed Encyclopedia, as well as some AC books, and the MGS book. It's pretty good. Well, that was it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this in the future. I will see you next time.